What's up, everybody? I'm Marcus.
I'm Ryan.
And together, we are the Northwest Sports Fanatics. You see this smile? We back at you guys just in time for the NFL season to kick off the start. I don't know about y'all. I do miss you guys.
Yeah, I've been ready.
Hey, it's been a long time coming, but we back at it. So without further ado, let's get right into it. We're going to go over the top 6 teams in the NFL, NFC, and AFC.
Baby.
And this is the Northwest Sports Fanatics predictions. Forget ESPN, forget NFL.com. These are our predictions right here. So I'll kick it off. Let's go to the AFC to start it.
All right.
And I'm going to start at number 6 team in the AFC, the New York Jets. The New York Jets, you know, the big thing was signing back Ryan Fitzpatrick. They brought in Forte to give him a little help on the offense, another versatile back. You still got Marshall and Decker. And look out for Devin Smith, the rookie they drafted last year out of Ohio State. He's returning from injury, so he should play a big part in their success this year. And on the defensive side of the ball, of course, they got Mr. Revis Allen.
Right.
They re-signed Muhammad Wilkinson. They also got the big stud Leonard Williams still there. And after Revis in the cornerback, it gets kind of suspect. You know, your second corner is Buster Skrine, who's been beaten for 17 touchdowns in the last 2 years. That's definitely not a good look. But I do expect him to be successful there with Todd Bowles.
Right. One of the most underrated coaches that we have in the NFL that was kind of unknown from, obviously, Arizona. Got a chance, and he's making the most of it. And look for them to kind of push for a wild card this year.
All right. The number 5 team, of course, we got to go with the defending champions, the Denver Broncos. They just announced that they're going to make Trevor Siemian their starter, which is a huge drop-off from Peyton.
Right.
But I think they'll be all right. They got the defense that's the best defense in the league. You got C.J. Anderson. He got his bag. You got your money, C.J. Now it's time to show them numbers, time to show out and earn that money that you got. You got a nice rookie in the backfield, Melvin Booker. I definitely like him. On the receivers, you know, you got 2 of the best, probably the best receiving tandem in the league. And Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders, I do like them a lot. Like I said, on that defense, you got Pro Bowlers at every level. I do like Dirk Wolf. And then in the backfield, you got the no-fly zone. You got Aqib Talib. You got Harris. You got Roby. You got T.J. Ward. So they should have another fun and exciting year.
And the best player in the NFL, arguably on defense, Mr. Von Miller.
Yes, sir.
Getting sacks all day long. And obviously Mark Sanchez. They're looking for a trade partner, Mr. Butt Fumble himself. I'm not sure if they're going to find anyone because they got Paxton Lynch, you know, the rookie coming in at second string. Mm-hmm. So I know they were looking for a trade partner there, but expect Denver to maybe surprise a few teams. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs this year, starting with a quarterback after winning the Super Bowl that's unproven.
Right.
Obviously, you know, 0 minutes, 0 snaps, but we'll see how it goes.
All right. And we're going to go to the number 4 team, same division. But we're going to go with the up-and-coming Oakland Raiders. I mean, what's it not to like about the Raiders? You got to applaud Reggie McKenzie, the GM there. He's been putting in a lot of work, getting a lot of draft picks, and they starting to pay off. Of course, on the offensive side of the ball, you got the still improving quarterback of Derek Carr. You got a good all-around back, which is going to be Latavius Murray. You got Amari Cooper.
Love him.
And you got someone that re-energized his career in Michael Crabtree. Also, I like the tight end Clive Walford that they have out there. So look for them to have a great year offensively again. But then you go to the defensive side of the ball. They got a lot of young up-and-coming studs. You got Mario Edwards Jr. You got David Emerson, who turned his career around. He was a former Redskin. He turned his career around once he got waived and picked up playing great for the Raiders. They also picked up Sean Smith from the Chiefs. So look for them. They got Carl Joseph, the safety. He's a playmaker. They also got Reggie Nelson. So they was real active in the free agency in the draft. And, of course, they got number 52.
Right, the best player on their team, Khalil Mack. Right, first team All-Pro on DN and linebacker, first time it's ever been done. Probably one of the top 3 players on defense in the entire NFL.
Yes, sir. So there you have it, the Oakland Raiders, number 4. Number 3, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. You know, Andy Dalton, he gets a lot of flack, but actually before his injury, he was playing at a real high level. You still got the 2 running back studs in Jeremy Hill and also Giovanni Bernard. You got A.J. Green and Tyler Eifert, but after that, it's kind of suspect. You lost Marvin Jones and Sanu. But then you go on that defensive side of the ball. That's where they got the studs at. You know, you got Geno Atkins, arguably top 5 D tackle in the league. Dre Kirkpatrick from Alabama. He's starting to play a little bit better. And then you got the OG. It's hard to say he's an OG, but you got Adam Pac-Man Jones out there in the secondary on the other corner as well.
Right. The Bengals are kind of like the Atlanta Hawks in basketball. They make the playoffs every year. They can win a bunch of games, but when it comes to the playoffs, they end up losing. But since the AFC is a little wide open right now, this may be the year that they actually win a playoff game and move on to the next round.
All right. Number 2. We're going to go to the black and yellow, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be an exciting team offensively. Defensively, we don't know still what we have yet, but I'm pretty sure that'll play out as the year go along. Of course, to me, you got the best wideout in the game in Antonio Brown. He's a playmaker, whether catching the ball, punt returns. He gets it done. You have Martavis Bryant. He's suspended. What a knucklehead.
Right. So Le'Veon Bell suspended as well.
Le'Veon Bell suspended, so that kind of hurts the firepower. Le'Veon Bell will be back after 3 games.
Right.
But you got a capable backup there in D'Angelo Williams, so a lot of y'all pick him up on fantasy if you need a running back. Defensive side of the ball, like I said, it's kind of a toss-up. They got a lot of young players, I do like Bud Dupree. You still got Jarvis Jones, who we're one of our favorites. We're still waiting for you to show up and make the impact that we thought you was going to have. You got Michael Mitchell at the safety. You got a rookie corner in Artie Burns who should get tested. But my guy, Lawrence Timmons, and my other guy, Shazier.
Right, it's going to be like the Dallas Cowboys, where the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cowboys are going to try to outscore the other teams. Their defenses are a little weak, based off the ranking, but if they outscore their opponents, it shouldn't really matter.
Yes, sir. And, of course, the number 1 team in the AFC, how could you go elsewhere? The New England Patriots. You know what? No Tom Brady for the first 4 games.
No problem.
It don't matter. It's still suspended off the deflate gate. They still picking at him about that. But you have a more than capable backup in Jimmy Garoppolo. Some say they have the best all-around receiving core in the league. You got Gronk. They picked up Martellus Bennett, Julius Edelman, Amendola. You got Hogan from the Bills, who I like personally. And guess who's back? Number 33, Mr. Deion Lewis. But then you go on the defensive side of the ball. They have some players I love as well, and it starts with Mr. Jamie Collins, all-around linebacker. He's something special. You have a real good safety in Devin McCourty, and another safety who only makes a good impact when he plays for the Patriots, and that's Patrick Chung.
Right. Still got Nikovic, so you still got a lot of solid pieces, and even though that they've had the injuries, they have the suspensions, they have the drama, how can you go against the Pats really from year to year? I mean, pretty much they're the most solid team going in from the preseason to the regular season. You got the best coach in the NFL. You got a top 3 quarterback, arguably maybe one of the best quarterbacks of all time in Tom Brady. So after the first 4 games of him being out, he's going to be lit. He's just going to be on fire. So they may go 2-2 in those first 4 games, but I expect them to win the division, and more than likely they'll probably be in the Super Bowl.
Now, how things looking on that NFC side?
All right, NFC, let's start it off. Number 6.
Number 6.
All right, so I had to go with 2 teams. I didn't really want to go with 2 teams, but it kind of forced me to. Number 6, I had to go Washington Redskins / Dallas Cowboys. Okay. All right, so let's just start off with the Redskins. You have Kirk Cousins. They didn't want to pay him the money. Does he deserve the money? Hell yeah, he deserves the money. He played really well. He's going to get paid. Very accurate. You got Jordan Reed, top 3 tight end in the league. Probably only really behind Gronk and Greg Olsen on the Panthers, right? Great hands, better route runner. So he may end up being number 1 in fantasy when it's all said and done. You got the best pickup in free agency, Josh Norman from the Carolina Panthers, rated number 1 in Madden. Obviously, with Richard Sherman and the rest, with Revis and Patrick Peterson, I expect big things from him. Deshaun Jackson, Pierre Garçon, Matt Jones at running back, Trent Williams, top 5 left tackle in the league.
A lot of talent.
Ryan Kerrigan, top 5 linebacker in the league. I mean, you got plenty of pieces there to make it happen again. The one thing that's going against the Redskins side is history.
Yes, sir.
Usually in history, when one team wins the division, what happens the next year? They don't win the division again. So they're looking to break history, and then we shift over to the Dallas Cowboys.
The Cowboys.
All right, Cowboys, offensive heavy. Okay, you got Tony Romo in, Tony Romo out.
Just that quick.
Dak Prescott in, obviously coming from college, playing great in the preseason, the best I've seen at quarterback since Russell Wilson. Obviously, when he was in preseason, looking great. But you also have to admit they got the best O-line in football, so that has a little bit of something to do with it. But his accuracy and obviously his playmaking ability, his footwork, he has proven that I think he can do it against the first stringers, and he already proved that with their record. Dez is Dez. You already know he's a little injury prone, but expect big things from Dez. Ezekiel Elliott from Ohio State. He might get Rookie of the Year. Obviously, if you see his footwork and his cutting and his lateral movement, I think there's not really a lot of people.
His physicality too. That's right. What I like.
How many people do they really remind you of? Maybe like a Adrian Peterson like kind of player. So expect big things from him. Witten is an old man, but he's still getting things done at the tight end position. Best O-line in football, like I said, you got Tyron Smith at the left tackle, number one, arguably left tackle. You got Travis Frederick at center, arguably the best center in the NFL, and then Zach Martin at right guard.
That's three.
So three of the best, and normally you'll have one good player on the O-line. You got 3 Pro Bowlers on the O-line, but the defense is the real question, and that's why they're at number 6. Okay. Defense, who is on the defense? I don't know. I mean, you got Sean Lee, but besides that, who else is going to step up besides all the guys that got suspended?
Kind of suspect. I like Byron Jones, though.
Right, and then obviously Morris Claiborne, even though he started slow, he's starting to pick it up, but they still need, Rolando McClain and some of these guys that come off the suspension to kind of keep them up afloat. Number 5.
Number 5, Cinco.
The Minnesota Vikings.
Okay. Vikings.
You got a brand new stadium that you're just moving into, and it looks beautiful.
Yes, it
goes
does.
5 stories up. I mean, they got plenty of amenities there. Teddy Bridgewater is looking like he's going to be on a Pro Bowl level. AP is back. Adrian Peterson, even though you're 30, 31 years old, I expect over 1,000, 1,000 to 1,500 yards. He ain't human.
No, he's
not. He's a special breed there, so expect big things from there. Their defense is improved. They arguably got one of the best front sevens in the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Just about 2-3 years ago, if you look at their stats, they were like worse than the NFL in their front seven statistically. Now they're top 5.
Huge improvement.
You got Harrison Smith on the back end, my favorite safety, one of the in the NFL, so expect big things from him. Stephon Diggs, obviously improved at the wide receiver position to give Teddy Bridgewater a nice go-to weapon. But the biggest add-on that no one is talking about is on the O-line. And who is it? Alex Boone.
Ooh.
Arguably the dirtiest player in the NFL from the 49ers, right? He is just incredible.
Every team needs one of those.
He's got the physicality to move people, the attitude, and I think really with him being there, he's going to make everyone on that O-line better. And I expect Minnesota to probably get the wild card, if not win the division again.
Yes, sir.
Number 4. I would like to put this team a little bit higher, but they have some key pieces they lost, so I had to bring them back to reality. We're talking about our own Northwest team.
The Seattle.
The Seahawks. All right, so you got Russell Wilson. We already know he's on a Pro Bowl caliber in a league of his own. Marshawn Lynch is gone. So who comes in now? We have a battle between Thomas Rawls, right, who's coming off the injury, and Christian Michael. Okay. Now, Christian Michael has played better in the preseason, so there may be a chance that he takes over Rawls, but not having beast mode there, Marshawn Lynch, is going to be huge.
You're going to miss beast mode.
Right, you're gonna lose a lot of games without him in there, but you still got Doug Baldwin, right? So you got a great wide receiver fantasy option there, right? You got the Legion of Boom. Pretty much intact. You got Cam Chancellor, you got Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, the best safety in football. You just cut Brandon Browner, so that was kind of surprising. So we'll have to see who they have fill in there. But you got studs like Michael Bennett at the DN who fights his own teammates in practice. You know what I mean? So he doesn't care what happens, but as long as they get those W's, that's really all that matters. But I expect the big things from them. And then let's go to number 3. The Green Bay Packers.
Go Pack.
All right, so Aaron Rodgers, top 3 quarterback in the league. I don't see him slowing down. You got MVP. You got Eddie Lacy with the dreads. He said he might cut his hair off because he's been getting grabbed on, and he lost about,
a lot of weight.
15, 20 pounds, so he looks thinner. He's cutting better. So let's see if he can keep it up for the full season. The big question was the wide receiving core.
Yes.
You lost Jordy Nelson. He's coming back.
Now he's back.
Right? Now you got Randall Cobb. Nice and healthy, right? You got Devontae Adams.
He needs to show up this year.
So we'll have to see how all that adds up. But the piece that no one's really talking about is Jared Cook. Tight end, formerly from the Rams. A nice deep threat down the field. He's not going to be double teamed. So if it's one-on-one, I expect a lot of deep balls there. And then the one person to keep an eye on the defense, since Charles Woodson isn't there anymore.
Right.
Clinton Dix. Okay? He's Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Right, roll tide. So he's obviously on the up and up as the safety position. Free safeties are really hard to come by for talented ones. So if they're going to make the playoffs and win the division, they're going to have to really rely on him to take it to the next level.
Yes, sir.
Number 2. Arizona Cardinals.
Go Cards.
Right, no surprise. Carson Palmer had arguably one of his best seasons statistically.
Yes, sir.
David Johnson, one of the best up-and-coming running backs we've seen in the league. For a no-name player, he can run, he can catch, he's going to get you plenty of touchdowns. You got vets like Larry Fitz, Larry Fitzgerald still doing big things. You got Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. You got Patrick Peterson, the top 5 corner. And then the biggest pickup they got from the New England Patriots.
Who's that?
Chandler Jones.
Okay.
How did they get him? Obviously New England knows what they're doing, but this is a real key piece for Arizona to maybe be the best team in the NFC. Very, very close. He's going to get you 10-plus sacks this year, and I assume he's going to be the true leader of that defense. So watch big things from Arizona.
Yes, sir.
NFC Championship game, if they don't get to the Super Bowl, or at least in the NFC Championship game, I'd be surprised.
Real disappointment.
Right? And number 1. The number 1 team should be no surprise. Who? The Carolina Panthers. All right? Mr. Cam Newton, Mr. Dab himself. Best player in the NFL last year with the MVP. I don't see him slowing down. MVP. Right? You only lost Josh Norman on the defense. You still got the best linebacker in football, Luke Kuechly. But the biggest piece that everyone was waiting to kind of see what happens, you're 15-1 last year. Can they go 16-0 or 15-1 again? Maybe with Kelvin Benjamin.
Okay.
You got a tall wide receiver with great hands and good route running.
Good speed.
Good speed too. So I would say 8 to 10 touchdowns from him minimum. And I don't really see them slowing down. They got a great coach in Ron Rivera. They're motivated, right? And obviously it hurt for them to lose in that Super Bowl. It's hard for teams to get back to the Super Bowl once they've been there. But to me, they look like the best team in the NFL from top to bottom: offense, defense, special teams, and head coach as of right now.
I do agree. So there you have it. Our NFL preview. We'll be back at you guys real soon with a new video. Fantasy football.
Right, college football.
College football is coming up. So there you have it. Northwest Sports Fanatics, Marcus, Orion. We out. See you next time.